Yo, guys, today I want to reflect on something very meaningful for all of us: the suffering of Jesus Christ. This isn't just about the physical pain he endured, but the deeper meaning behind it. The love that transforms us, the love that transformed the greatest symbol of shame in the ancient world, the cross, into the ultimate sign of hope, the hope of eternal life. And in the next few minutes, let's explore how his suffering still speaks to us today. You see, one of the most incredible things about Christ's suffering is that it was entirely voluntary. He wasn't forced onto the cross by his Father, as some people believe. In fact, Jesus Christ, as the Son of God, chose it. In John 10, verse 18, Jesus says, "No one takes my life, but I lay it down of my own accord. And if he lays it down, he has the power to take it up again." And imagine this: the creator of the universe, the one who holds all power, chose to endure humiliation, rejection, and pain. Why? Because he loves us, and love demands sacrifice. This wasn't weakness, it was strength beyond comprehension. He endured the cross, not because he couldn't resist, but because his love wouldn't let him resist. He wouldn't resist out of love for you and me. Christ's suffering heals us and shows us a humility that is hard to comprehend. Philippians 2 verse 8 says, "And being found in human form," this is Jesus Christ, who was in the form of God before all time. Being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Think about that for a moment. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, was mocked, beaten, and crucified as if he were a criminal, but he did nothing wrong. Yet he didn't retaliate or call for vengeance. He bore it all in silence. Why? He wanted to show his followers what true humility looks like and to teach us to endure trials with grace. His silence in the face of injustice speaks volumes. It reveals strength rooted in love and trust in his Father's plan. This is the suffering of Christ. The suffering of Christ wasn't random, it had a purpose as well. Isaiah 53, verse 5 tells us, "He, Jesus Christ, was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed." In his suffering, he took the punishment we deserved. But it didn't end there. Through his suffering, he healed our hearts. He defeated sin. He reunited us to God. He overcame death, transforming what was meant for destruction into a path for ultimately our redemption. What the world saw as defeat, God used for ultimate victory. Every lash, every nail, every cry of pain was a step toward God, restoring us to God. This is Jesus. Jesus Christ's suffering also calls us to a response. In Luke 9, verse 23, Jesus says, "If anyone, you and I, would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me." This doesn't mean we seek suffering, but it does mean we embrace it when it comes, trusting that God can use it for our good. Just as Christ endured the cross for the joy that was set before him, we too can endure trials, knowing that they produce perseverance and hope. And our hope is in what? Eternal life. And what is eternal life? To know the only true God and Jesus Christ, his Son. His example shows us how to face life's struggles, not with despair, but with faith and courage. Ultimately, the suffering of Christ speaks volumes and transformed the world. And that same suffering that transformed the world can transform you. It shows us that pain is not the end of the story. Because of suffering, sin has been defeated, death has lost its sting, and we have been given the gift of eternal life. And more than that, we can know the Father. When you face hardships, remember this: Christ's suffering healed you, saved you, and gives meaning to your suffering. He walks with you in your pain, and through him, even your darkest moments can lead to light. I'll leave you with this thought: every moment of Christ's suffering was an act of love for you. His wounds became our healing. His death ultimately became our life. Take time today to reflect on this incredible truth. And as you do, let his suffering remind you of the depths of his love for you and I, and the hope we have in him. If this spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs to also hear the love of God. God bless you.